Patriots pulling up, ain't gonna stop. Hide if you want, cause it's ready or not. We the whole gang and we up on your block. Got the red dot on you, now take the shot. 2-8 don't face me, now I got my slide. We hunting down snakes, we aim for the hide. Try to jam me, I don't care what you say, cause the people are here and we win either way. Hey yo, shout out to the truckers who be honking on the road, blocking off the bridge even when the weather's cold. Missing out on money, but to them it do not matter. Fighting for their freedom is the reason that they gather. All over the world, anywhere that you can fathom. Ottawa to Paris, now they are not terrorists. Canberra to Vienna, run up a comparison. Trudeau can't stand them, then he try to ban them. Call up an emergency and do it with some urgency, and call up the city police to take away the liberties. But our numbers going strong, you know we never stand alone. We taking back a rest, you better take the story on your phone. Then we go to stage, put the stick up on my plane. Ain't gonna show a back sport, you don't wanna ask for it. Then I'll call the truckers and we call it a team-wheeler force. Block it now and no remorse. Australia to hit the source, they calling for the power so that they can come to take your body, your life, to end your mortal strife. Take away the guns, then take away the funds. Hacking at the fundraising so we know the hell awaits. And really think they're gonna stop it, but they'll never make a profit. No more water in the faucet, cause the workers don't deposit for the timers doing violence. Rebels got it moving silence, still it's time to make it loud. On the streets and in the cloud, get banned, stand up, you know we gotta man up. I ain't gonna little timer try to lock us up. Say we gotta wear a mask while they party in the club. Vax that thing up, or I cannot buy us up. Think the politicians for getting new pay, they pay stub. It's only been a couple years, you know that we are fed up. Truck Trudeau and the same go for Joe. And if you try to lock me down again, then I'ma let it blow. If you try to push the vaccine, I'ma say no. If you think that you're safe, we better run up in your place. We done with the games, we done with the snakes. You better be scared, we'll do what it takes. Patriots pulling up, ain't gonna stop. Hide if you want, cause it's ready or not. We the whole gang and we up on your block. Got the red dot on you, now take the shot.
I won't take the vax, no. Fauci is a backhole. Why you even rap, bro? If you ain't spitting facts, though. Fire like Tabasco. I'll check the swag, bro. Didn't trust anyone on news and a lab coat bars. Why they always grifting for the black votes? TikTok pop star, swear it's all an act, bro. Now they want the truckers in the prison cause they mad, so I'ma make a song that made their next turn. Lassos. Call me rap cowboy. Even as a little DC, I was a loud boy. Spitting racist jokes in the class like a proud boy. Okay, who you kidding? I'm like Gavin, this McGinnis when I'm rapping like a tabloid. 9/11 inside job. Michelle's got a real big schlong. Probably like 10-inch long. They probably wanna end this song, but we ain't gonna end this song. No, McDonald's fries kill more people than Corona did. Masked up, class suffocating all the COVID kids. Let me take a breath. They're praying on a death. I blame it on the left. Daking who you rep. Jesus Christ is the set. I can see that they upset. Gays go to hell. Why? Cause they have anal sex, that's why. Faggot.
Patriots pulling up, ain't gonna stop. Hide if you want, cause it's ready or not. We the whole gang and we up on your block. Got the red dot on you, now take the shot. Stay awake, not woke, I'm tuned in. Your point of view too far, need to zoom in. Ain't got no facts, you assuming. About to call them blue, the way you be cluing. Stay awake, not woke, I'm tuned in. Your point of view too far, need to zoom in. Ain't got no facts, you assuming. About to call them blue, the way you be cluing. Have we had enough of your lies for one night? Have we felt enough of our pain to know it's real? How do you feel? Sick and tired of the lies, all I'm feeling is the pain. It's the devil in disguise while I'm standing in the rain. Water pouring from the sky, but you tell me the opposite. Like I don't have a consciousness, like I'm stuck in the matrix and my brain's up for the taking. But we don't do that, I know my facts. They say that he was elected, but where the stats at? They say that jab the only way to get your life back. But if you have a heart attack, then they will go to hide that. Look at the FDA, acting like KKK, trying to run all our lives like we they brand new slaves. Lose the job, banned from playing segregation, all the same. They call themselves progressives, but they taking us all back again. Bring the world to darkness and sacrifice the children then. When it's said and done, then you will never live with hope again. I say that we break the chains, we can't leave the world the same. Make love real again. As we fly above the truth, I ask of God, am I with you? I walk the path, go to the light, but still I feel that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages from all across the world. My name is Chandler Crump, and you are now tuned in to Crump Live, our show we do every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 without fail for as much as we can. We've got a ton of stuff we're going to be jumping and delving into, but first things first, I want to give a big happy thank you and hello to everybody who is tuned in
big happy thank you and hello. I think that might be my new thing from here on out. Really slides off the tongue. We're live on Getter, we're live on Rumble, we're live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube. If you're watching on any of those platforms, feel free to say hey in the chat. It is nice to see y'all again. Shout out to Joker Ace. I see you over there on Rumble. My folks over on Getter, we're all going to start filing in here soon. So let's just jump down to business. The name of this stream is a weird one. I promise there are serious stories we are going to be covering later, but I had to start off with a nice high note. This is the last show we do of each week. You know, our show's on Thursdays. It's the last show before we break for the weekend and Friday, and we come back strong on Mondays at 4. So I gotta take us out on a high note, right? Jamie Rowland says, "Hola, nice to see you, Jamie. I gotta take us out on something high." Joe Biden legitimately called Trump the words MAGA king. First he said this is a MAGA party. Then he said we are ultra MAGA. Now he's literally crowning Trump the king of MAGA. I don't think this can get any funnier. Truly, I don't think it can. Especially since this wasn't like in some sort of statement, which would actually be honestly worse because the statement's supposed to be like an official thing. But no, legitimately, this was during a speech that Biden referred to Trump as the MAGA king. Quotes, entire quotes, and I will be making it a soundboard option, very much like Ultra MAGA, very soon once I get it downloaded. But you have to hear this, guys. You really do.
Under my predecessor, the great MAGA king, the deficit increased every single year he was president.
I don't care about the other thing he has to say there, but
MAGA king.
The great MAGA king. Are you serious? Is he pulling my leg? I think he's pulling all of our legs here.
The great MAGA king.
And he looks so inspired as he's looking up, like he's talking about him in such a forlorn manner, like, oh, I really do long for, I miss the great MAGA king. Like, he sounds like most people after January 2021, just like, oh man, I need this back. And many more people have come out since then that are like, oh gosh, we need the great MAGA king back. Now, many people decry this phrase, you know, Trump as a king. No way, Jose, we don't really support it. But a lot of folks are actually saying some hilarious stuff beneath this. Let's see here. It's a team effort, yada yada. But I want to see, right, and none of the things Trump did with what that money benefited the American people, just the rich. Yeah, whatever. I just paid $4.75 for milk and gas, over $5 a gallon. Good job, Brandon. Everything costs double. And, you know, that's a lot of comments up there, very close to a ratio, but 300 likes. It's, you know, it's a lot easier to leave a like than a comment, so it's still very much so on the line, but that's a lot of people in support of it. Meanwhile, so let me ask, genuinely yada yada, too much big of a tweet, but as you can see, they've got a blue wave, land back, BLM, so obviously Tracy Chambers isn't thinking too straight. She's got pretty close to a ratio here as well with 35, which is just about half of her 69 likes here, so it's really tallying up there. People talking about the great ultra MAGA king. So it's only natural that the MAGA king himself had to come out and say something about it. Yes, he posted a meme on Truth Social. The return of the great MAGA king, says Trump. It's a meme by Midnight Mitch, who is yet another amazing meme creator. But guys, come on. This can't be real. I think this is supposed to be like a Game of Thrones thing. I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I don't watch many of the fantasy stuff like that. But, well, Trump's face has been photoshopped very accurately onto whoever this is. I don't recognize this. If anybody recognizes who this character is supposed to be, minus Trump's face, let me know in the comments. But man, it's good. It's good. I'll give him that. So I gotta check out this guy's account, see what else he has up there. Oh jeez, I know what that's about. Pro-life caucus, pro-Texas, pro-choice. Some sad dog. Gas prices under Trump, gas prices under Biden. Just the meme wars, they just never end. I mean, I can't say they've ever come close to stopping. It's been a great time, and it's only getting better. I mean, look at this. This tweet got 28,000 likes posted by Benny Johnson with a massive account, but still, that's really getting out there. People talking about this ultra MAGA king. We've all started to put it in our names. I'm actually going by Ultra Crump now over on my Twitter account. We just hit profile here. As you can see, Ultra Crump, 17-year-old commentator is my whole thing, but no, I am Ultra Crump. It is who I am, and I am who it is. That's just who I am now. So Ultra Crump, the MAGA king. I think Jack Posobiec has a funny name right now as well. Let's see here. We can check that out. Oh, he changed it back, but he was ultra Jack Posobiec or something for a little while as well. Ultra MAGA something. We're all joining on to the great Ultra MAGA bandwagon, and I can't say it's a bad thing that's happening. Joker Aces, Wokies are an endless source of great memes. Yeah, I can't say I've ever laughed nearly as much as I have recently, but unfortunately, not everything's a joke. In fact, you might have to get high to think this one's a joke, but, well, it seems the Biden administration is actually in support of that. The Biden admin is actually including safe smoking kits, crack pipes, and other drug paraphernalia in their kits. Oh my gosh. The safe smoking kits that the Biden administration previously stressed would not include crack pipes have been revealed to indeed include crack pipes. The best way to avoid a public affairs disaster over what your administration is doing? Lie. Lie. The Washington Free Beacon visited 5 harm reduction organizations across the East Coast, Boston, New York, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and a few others, and kits gathered from each of these cities included crack pipes.
Will be able to sign that extension in by Friday. And separately, has the administration been talking to the 2 Republican senators who raised concerns, Senator Lee and Blackburn?
We are engaged with a range of Democrats and Republicans, and certainly we are hopeful that we will be able to sign this. I would note, though, that I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that one of Senator Blackburn's primary concerns is about a relation to the funding of crack pipes. Is this correct? Which is not an issue.
Stop the cap.
This is an issue. What is happening here is the potential to hold up funding the government and important programs around an issue that is not an issue.
Nope.
Say it with me, guys. Was Jen Psaki lying?
Yes.
Was Jen Psaki telling the truth?
Nope.
Was there indeed crack pipes included in these safe smoking kits?
Yes.
Go. You know the thing.
I rest my case? I truly do rest my case. The Free Beacon noted that not all organizations may offer crack pipes in their safe smoking kits, but all of the organizations we've visited made crack pipes as well as paraphernalia for the use of heroin, cocaine, and other options readily available without requiring or offering rehab services, suggesting that pipes are included in many, if not most, of the kits distributed across the country. The centers from which the Free Beacon obtained the safe smoking kits were all run by health-focused nonprofits and government agencies, which were eligible to receive funding from the Biden admin starting this month formed the program. We covered this a little bit and received word that, yes, indeed, crack pipes were being made available, but this is, well, it's even more telling to the fact. And it also really clues you in because these cities are very heavily, and in some cities, majority minority. It's a funny way to say that. Majority, population-wise, minority. Cities like Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Richmond, Virginia, New York, and Boston. Now, I don't believe all of them are majority minority, but I think at the very least Washington, D.C. and Baltimore are, and a couple of these others might be as well, or might be on the track to it very, very soon. Shows you who's being targeted by this. These organizations, though, did not specify whether they had applied for the Department of Health and Human Services grant. In Baltimore, the outlet was able to obtain the kit without ID, only needing to state their initials, date of birth, and a zip code before receiving the kit. And included pipes, Chore Boy copper mesh, which is a cleaning product used to hold rock at the end of the pipe, directions on how to use the items, mouthpieces, wooden sticks for inserting the mesh into the pipe, and alcohol wipes. The Free Beacon also noted that the kit included an authorized harm reduction program participant card, which serves as a get it of jail free card to show to law enforcement. So if they catch you with the crack, you just show this fancy little card. You're out of the woods. Oh my gosh. The organization that runs the program is Charm City Care Connection, which receives funding from both Baltimore and Maryland state governments, and has received at least $200 grand in funding from George Soros's Open Society Foundations. Charm City Care, which is run through Johns Hopkins University, also delivers crack pipes to the doors of non-men identities. In Boston, the Access Harm Reduction, Overdose Prevention, and Education Facility, it's a lot of commas, which is run by the Boston Public Health Commission, recorded initials, a date of birth, housing situation, and HIV status before dispensing the drug equipment. A worker told the Free Beacon, 1 pipe per person, once a day. If you've ever wondered about the moral decay of our country, well, I think you can see it right before our eyes. This is becoming a serious issue. And it's being advertised and supported by the government. It is being pushed out there. And we're not supposed to say anything about it because, well, it's just not true. Once again, Jen Psaki was lying. I don't know what to tell y'all. It's true. She was lying. The crack pipes were indeed a part of the deal, and hundreds of thousands of dollars are being invested to get them out there. My question is, who is legally offering these crack pipes to the government for them to resell? Because last I checked, that's not a legal thing you can do, even to the government. But it's neither here nor there. The Biden administration is not known to be respected as far as guarding your privacy or even following the law, as we've learned just last night by Project Veritas with the FBI. A whistleblower came forward and leaked a document showing that the Bureau is targeting news media organizations and is identifying organizations like Project Veritas as news media. We covered this in a video yesterday evening. It was an emergency video. It was on both of my channels and over on Rumble. So if you haven't seen it already, I definitely invite you to go check that out. But I wanted to read through this a little bit briefly and get this going. A source within the FBI has come forward to expose the FBI's targeting of members of the news media, including information about what the FBI calls a special investigative matter, regarding their investigation into Veritas over Ashley Biden's abandoned diary. According to a document obtained and published by Veritas, the FBI opened an investigation into Veritas, knowing full well they were journalists, as the document is labeled under news media classification. This classification is a direct contradiction to the government's court filing, where they argued that actions taken by the government to surveil, rate, and seize materials from Veritas journalists were appropriate. The government's filing stated Veritas is not engaged in journalism within any traditional or accepted definition of that word, because its reporting is non-consensual. So due to the fact that Veritas does independent investigative journalism that is not supported by the big groups that are the ones that get to decide what is appropriate and accepted by the definition of the word, well, suddenly they're open season to get their doors kicked in and their files, devices, and other information seized by the FBI for their investigatory purposes. The whistleblower, who has several years of experience as an FBI special agent, came to Veritas because the direction that the agency has headed troubles a vast majority of the agents. Something else the whistleblower called alerting was the fact that the FBI categorized the investigation into Biden's diary under Threat Band 1, which is usually reserved for threat issues that are likely to cause the greatest damage to national interests or public safety in the coming year. Because us knowing what Biden did to his daughter, to Ashley Biden in history, is not what we're supposed to be knowing about, and could cause great damage? Really? The document, which lacks certain information due to the restricted classification of the file, also shows the investigation was launched the same day Ashley Biden's attorney, Roberta Kaplan, said, "This is insane, we should send to SDNY," in response to a request for comment on the contents of the Ashley Biden diary. Of course, this is what's going to be damaging. They are going to kick in your door for what they believe to be inappropriate use of your ability to investigate. And kick in the door they did. And while they weren't able to secure any charges or anything that could bring Project Veritas, James O'Keefe, anybody down, they tried. Excuse me. I gotta read a few comments here. Joker A says, "Get out of jail free card. Lol Joe's Monopoly kit, if it contains some fiat currency too." Ozzy Fozzy says, "This has been the operation of the slave drivers for a long time. They cause the problem and sell you half-baked cure so that you continually need them and you, as their enemy, decline into your DE." I don't know what you're trying to finish there, but I definitely agree with you on all of that. On all of that, truly. They want to keep you hooked on, well, themselves, and they'll do anything to make that a reality. And I mean anything. Before we continue, I want to give a big shout out to our current Hall of Heroes members, Inespo and Mark Cook up there. I really appreciate both of them for supporting the show. You guys absolutely mean the world to me. Thank you to Mark Cook and Inespo. They've actually both been donating for a few months now. They have it on a schedule, so big thank you to them. I really, really appreciate them. If you want to join the Hall of Heroes, all your options are, of course, available in the description for that. But we're not nearly done with the show quite yet. I have another one that is going to be just pure hilarity. You aren't going to want to miss this, because Elon Musk, well, and just a couple hours ago, he tweeted something real crazy. He said, "Even though I think a less divisive candidate would be better in 2024, I still think Trump should be restored to Twitter." This is massive, because this wasn't a thing that he had tweeted before. He had only said on an interview that he thinks that Trump's ban was stupid and dumb, and that maybe Trump should be brought on back. Well, now he's tweeting it, and as you can see, 160,000 likes on this. And counting. 13,000 retweets, 2,800 quote tweets. And so Tim Young said, get ready for another round of smear articles from every major publication after this. Tim Young's a comedian, of course, on the right. Elon Musk actually responded to this with a laughing emoji and the little 100 sign. So I'd say we're in a pretty good place right about now. Ozzy says the world is a stage. There's no government anymore, but we are in the New World Order fold. Like the buyout of a company, they are disassembling the symbolism and core operating presence to bring administration under the new. I guess you're going to say world order there. Man, that's crazy coming from Musk, who I guess some people actually say Musk is part of the New World Order. I don't know. I'm not digging all that deep into it. Oh, he said more. Biden's mistake is that he thinks he was elected to transform the country, but actually everyone just wanted less drama. Well, it seems like everybody that is wanting less drama sure is paying out of pocket for it. Paying quite a bit. Cernovich says, it's good that the country sees what you get under the far left. Best thing that could have happened was a Biden win. Masks are off, the frauds who claim to be centrist and reasonable liberals are exposed as extremists in a Trojan horse. Moral clarity is beautiful. I see a lot of Ukraine flags disagreeing with me. Thank you for supporting a country that has strict abortion laws. Oh, really? Does it? Man, I might actually have to put the Ukraine flag up in my bio after that. Man, that's some good news right there. That truly is. Truly is. Let's move on, though, because this, well, we've got some movement coming from Ukraine. Now, if you guys don't already know, the United States government has been pushing very hard for even more billions to send to Ukraine. Yes, in fact, it actually just passed the House the other day, $40 billion in Ukraine aid. However, based Senator Rand Paul is standing in the way of it. He is actually putting up a fight against it. He says, my oath of office is to the U.S. Constitution, not to any foreign nation. We cannot save Ukraine by dooming the U.S. economy. Check this out.
My oath of office is to the U.S. Constitution, not to any foreign nation. And no matter how sympathetic the cause, my oath of office is to the national security of the United States of America. We cannot save Ukraine by dooming the U.S. economy. In March, inflation hit a 40-year high. Gasoline alone is up 48%, and energy prices are up 32%. My oath of office is to the U.S. Constitution.
I think that's just a powerful statement at the beginning right there. I had to hear it again while we try and check in on this. I don't know what's up with it. Let's check in on an article, shall we? Rand Paul objection delays $40 billion in Ukraine aid package because he's objecting to it. What's happening, though? Senator Rand Paul hit the brakes Thursday on bipartisan hopes that the Senate could quickly pass nearly $40 billion in Ukraine aid before leaving town for the week. Paul objected to a deal offered by Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell that would have set up votes on Thursday afternoon on the funding and on an amendment from Paul who wanted to include language in the bill to expand an Afghanistan Inspector General role to include oversight of the Ukraine funds. Paul blocked the votes because he wants his language inserted into the text of the bill instead of having to take his chance with an amendment vote, which could be blocked. The stalemate will delay the Senate's passage of the Ukraine package until at least next week and potentially beyond. Oh, yes. I think they're going to have to go through the long way, Paul told The Hill about what comes next after the floor standoff. The roadblock comes after senators and staff haggled privately for hours on Thursday to try to find a path toward passing the Ukraine aid before they wrapped up their work for the week. Senators were also eager to avoid making changes to the bill, which would require it to go back to the House for a second vote. And yes, Dr. Gerber, this is, or D. Gerber, I'm misreading that. Yes, this is live. Don't worry about it. I don't know what's up with YouTube today, but I'm seeing numbers, so I guess we're fine. We're still live on Rumble. So shout out to my folks like Ozzy and Joker Ace over on Rumble. We're also live on Gitter, so if you're having issues on YouTube, I definitely encourage you to just join us over on Rumble. If you're watching on a phone, by the way, you can actually turn off your phone screen while you're listening to it, which I think is a major bonus, so I'll just drop that in the chat. I've been noticing weirder and weirder things happening to my channel these days, and it's painful, but we're doing our best to work past it, so thank you to everybody who's bearing with us over on YouTube. Definitely check us out over on Rumble. Schumer and McConnell then appeared on the Senate floor to try to set up votes on the Ukraine aid. Under the Senate's rules, any one senator can try to quickly set up a vote or pass a bill, but it only takes one senator to object. And it's going to be the
MAGA
senator, like Rand Paul, who I don't even think he's ever acknowledged the term
MAGA,
but I'm sure under Biden's current definitions, he would now be a part of
MAGA.
I have to press it at least 3 times or so per show, just to really hammer it in there for y'all. Under the deal offered by Schumer and McConnell, which is just really interesting that these guys are working together. That really calls it into question for me. The Senate would have first voted on standalone legislation from John Kennedy to establish a special inspector general for the Ukraine aid. After that, the Senate would have taken up the $40 billion in Ukraine assistance with a vote on Paul's amendment to get included in the Ukraine assistance. Paul's proposal would have needed 60 votes. So true. But this is what we're focused on. While our inflation is climbing to highs, 40-year highs, in fact, we haven't seen highs this crazy since the 80s and 70s, around then when inflation was just as crazy. But now it's starting to get up there and beat it. 11% just in April. That means something that you bought in March by April 30th cost about 11% more if companies were matching to the inflation rate, which is insane. Wholesale prices accelerated more than expected in April as inflation continued to hover near a 40-year high as a result of strong consumer demand, pandemic-related supply chain snarls, great job Fox News, and the Russian war in Ukraine. The Labor Department said Thursday that its producer price index, which measures inflation at the wholesale level before it reaches consumers, climbed 11% in April from the previous year. On a monthly basis, prices grew by 0.5%. Okay, so I was a little wrong there. 11% from April of 2022 to 2021. But from March 30th to April 30th, it rose by 0.5%, which is, in more perspective, still just as crazy. Although that marks a slight moderation from March's reading of 11.2%, the gauge still came in higher than the 10.7% forecast from economists, suggesting inflationary pressures remain strong. Core inflation at the wholesale level, which excludes the more volatile measurements of food and energy, increased 0.6% for the month, following a 0.9% increase in March, and over the past 12 months, core prices were up 7%. This is getting crazy. See here. Ozzy says, if they push the Supreme Court win and any other time like 2018 or 19, I wouldn't be so suspicious that they weren't trying to cause civil war. Joker says, happens here and there on most Rumble streams. Yes, they seem to want a summer civil war. Oh yeah, Rumble streams sometimes glitch about a little bit, but also they don't get cut off randomly like my YouTube streams. So, and Rumble's pretty stable for me, so I'll leave it there for that. But this is a look at wholesale inflation over the years, which is wow. So we had actually some negative inflation, or close. Oh no, yeah, some negative inflation. So it was actually, I think the term is deflation, but I guess that was just what's coming next, as you can see. Going through 2021, let's see if we can find January 2021, like right at the beginning. So 1.6, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 11.2. It's getting terrible, folks. Now, the inflation rate wasn't beautiful during the Trump administration, and it was, as Biden calls it, the deficit years, but looking at it, in comparison, my goodness. I mean, the modern economy is going to have some wicked changes in the way things are just happening in the world. We're definitely going to be a cause for inflation, but now it's just pure negligence. Of course, things are happening in the world like crazy, which will cause inflation. I always expect it to be a little higher now, even if Trump was in office in comparison to Biden, although that's a little bit of a hard sell. The Biden administration is directly responsible for exacerbating an already terrible situation. That's just the way things work. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like anybody's paying attention to it, because all they're going to do is just be like, oh no, it's the MAGA king. He planted the terrible seeds. We inherited a terrible economy, is what Trump is saying, and, well, what can you do to fight against it, right? We've got a ton more subjects that are going to be really pushing the needle here. As you guys know, we try to have once every couple of our streams a segment where we really talk about the children and what is happening. And this next one is no different, as a Colorado teacher invited a 12-year-old schoolgirl to an after-school art club that was actually meeting about trans and queer identity. You are not going to want to miss this next story. Stick around. We'll jump right into it after these messages.
Hey freethinkers, Chandler here, and man, covering the news of the day, reading your comments, and containing my laughter sure are tiring, right? I'm sure your day-to-day life leaves you just as, if not more tired than me. So why not elevate your night's sleep, all while supporting a great patriot? Of course, you knew it was coming. It was too good to pass up. My Pillow is your ultimate night's sleep. Pillows, blankets, sheets, mattresses, mattress toppers, pajamas, loungewear. As you can hear by me droning on in the background, the list of My Pillow products is long and varied, and sometimes, dare I say, ridiculous. But it all goes towards an amazing cause, all the while giving you the best night's sleep in the whole wide world. Mike Lindell is an amazing patriot and a man I've met a few times myself. I can tell you, he's just as real in person as he is online. He has an inspiring story of recovering from addiction and is a true warrior. You could tell just by how hard the media comes after him. The best way to stand by Mike Lindell, stand by the Patriots who have been canceled, and to stand by your wife or husband who would love to wake up in the morning to a non-cranky mess, go to mypillow.com and use code CRUMP. That is code CRUMP for your very own discount today. Now, let's get back to the show.
I'm not here anymore. My Pillow has taken over the show and will now be the further host of Crump Live from here on out. Just kidding, but the only thing that isn't a joke is the savings over on mypillow.com. Make sure you go there and use code CRUMP for your very own discount today. Or shall I say, tonight. It's getting pretty late over here on the East Coast. So let's get through the rest of our topics we've got here so I can let you all head on back to bed or whatever else you've got to do on a nice Thursday evening as we soon cap off the week. This story, well, it won't leave you on a great note, but it's something that we need to talk about. It truly is. Now, you guys may remember just a couple days ago, we discussed the saga of Sage, and I actually clipped it up and posted it over on my Rumble, so if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I do want to quickly invite you to go check it out. The saga of Sage is a story about a transgender child who was trafficked and had a very terrible situation and all these different things. We read through the entire story right here, so if you're on Rumble or on my YouTube channel, definitely make sure you go check it out over here and give it a watch. But this story is kind of in a similar vein to that, although, you know, there's no abuse directly, and I believe the people involved did lose their jobs, but it is within that sort of same vein and scope. Something that I care a lot about is protecting the children, because I too have gone through things like this, not nearly as, you know, from an institutional level like school teachers or anything like that, but online and in communities I was a part of. People will try to push that on you, and I've had to go through it, so I understand it better than I'd say a lot of my viewers would, and better than a good amount of my generation would. So let's jump into this and get on through this. Fury as Colorado teacher invites schoolgirl 12 to after-school arts club that was actually a meeting about trans and queer identity. Kids were asked who they were sexually attracted to and told that it's okay to lie to your parents. Erin Lee, whose daughter attended Wellington Middle School up until this year, says her daughter was told she may be transgender and her family was not safe. What? This is crazy. A mother has been left fuming after her 12-year-old daughter's teacher invited her to an after-school arts club that was actually a gender identity group. Erin Lee, whose child was at Wellington Middle in Colorado up until this year, slammed Jenna Reef for getting the youngster to go to the Gender and Sexualities Alliance event. She told how her daughter came home and revealed a speaker told them that they may be transgender even if they were not comfortable in their bodies. The horrified mother claimed they also asked kids who they were attracted to and informed they could be queer while being shown a genderbread person. Okay, I gotta look this up. Genderbread person, just to see what this looks like real quick. Oh my gosh, is this what they were shown? I gotta admit, it's rather concise. It's a really easy way to absolutely confuse somebody. Let's just go to genderbread.org. Wow, so there's anatomical, aka biological, aka what you're born with, but then there's gender identity, and then there's expression, and then there's attraction. So you could be born a girl, you can have the identity of a boy, you can have the expression of a girl, and you can have the attraction to girls. Or anything outside of the binary, apparently. You can wonder why a mother would be so horrified by something like that. That's just shocking. The bizarre diagram has been used in some woke schools and workplaces to claim anatomical sex is maleness or femaleness, but has been criticized by some academics. Lee also alleged that youngsters were even asked to keep details of the meeting a secret and warned that their parents were not safe to know about it. The lesson, which district officials have since defended, spurred the concerned mother to pull the child out of public school and enroll her into an $8,000 a year private school. And yep, here's the graph for those that didn't see it a second ago, and for those that didn't do their due diligence and research like I just had to. Let's get a closer look at this part here, the gender identity. So womanness, manness, feminine, masculine, femaleness, maleness. This is perplexing to look at. It truly is. Like, I understand it, but man, I really don't. I really don't understand how you could push this on somebody and expect them to not grow up super duper confused. Here's a video of the mother discussing it. I have to see this. Well, if we've got sound, is it muted? Okay, it is.
Like any Tuesday, and we sent our 2 kids that are in school off to school. My barely 12-year-old was in 6th grade. On that same day, she was invited by her trusted art and homeroom teacher to attend art club after school. So she texted us and we gave our permission for her to attend art club. And when we picked her up from that program after school, we could see on her face that something was incredibly wrong. And so we were able to get it out of her what had happened to her. But essentially, the art teacher had invited in an outside presenter. It wasn't art club, it was GSA, or gender and sexuality awareness is what they're calling it now. This presenter had no qualifications to be speaking with children about sexuality and gender. She uses a PowerPoint with GSAs that starts with her #1 rule: what you keep in here, what you hear in here, keep in here. She then brought out flags to describe various umbrella terms or defining words surrounding LGBTQ, as she called them. She told the kids that if they're not fully comfortable in their body, then they are transgender. So essentially told my daughter if she's not 100% comfortable in her female body, that she is transgender. She did the genderbread person activity, which she provides this to all the middle school GSAs. It explicitly asks the little kids 11, 12, and 13 years old who they're sexually attracted to. So she essentially asked our little girl who she's sexually attracted to. And when she didn't know, she said, well, that means you're queer, and gave her flags and stickers and bracelets and trans flags and stickers.
Oh my gosh. See, this is what they try to do. They try to pigeonhole your child into it because it's a 12-year-old in middle school. Not everybody's gonna know. I don't even know what that means. They aren't fully grown yet. They don't have all that. They don't have an entire body yet. They're still they're young. They're barely a decade old. You were experimenting when you were younger. This was just a child. This was a baby. 10 years later, you're like, I want to pass this on to the next generation because I live in too depraved of a mentality. I actually have children of my own since I'm not doing things the natural way. Well, let me go impregnate my ideals on some actual other child and make them mine. I didn't even know this was an activity. I thought this was some sort of chart, but I guess there's a version that you actually fill out yourself, which asks all these things. And as you can see, there you go. So there's a bodily attraction and a romantic attraction at the bottom here, and Daily Mail's blocking it, but if you take a look, actually, we'll just go back to this one. As you can see, attraction, and it actually has it locked down to just one, but there's multiple different sheets and forms for it, and there you go. It's gonna let me submit an explainer, probably download some activity or lesson plan. Here we go. Yeah. So necessary supplies, goals and objectives to distinguish between the LGBTQ and T of LGBTQ. To distinguish between gender identity, gender expression, and attraction, help individuals connect and have time to consider their own understandings, yada 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 yada. For 12-year-olds, for middle schoolers, because that's just what makes sense, doesn't it? That's just what we need, right? Goodness. And it really pisses me off the way that they're like, oh, you don't know if you like boys or girls or something else, apparently, if that exists. Well, that makes you queer. You're the Q in LGBT. Welcome to the community. Come be with me, sister. Now, just put on this outfit, go to this club, and do a little drag dance for me. I think that's how you affirm the community, right? Who remembers Desmond is Amazing just a couple years ago, right? I'm sure that's just a very poor, confused kid, much, much, much younger than I am, who is out here being lampooned through these different clubs and different experiments, and people are saying, yeah, you go, kid. You could do it. That's who you are. You're part of the queer drag community. This is who you are. He's just a confused young man. It's really sad. Helicon over on Rumble says, I remember the jokes were that they're gonna turn your kids gay. We all felt that joke was too far, but it turns out to be true after all. Oh my gosh. Ozzy says, what you laugh at today becomes true tomorrow. Man, that's a good quote right there. That's a good one right there. The last thing I want to bring to you guys is another thing, a video, which is a person who actually infiltrated one of these GSA meetings, GSA clubs. And man, oh man, is it telling what they say. She says, the first rule of Rainbow Club is, you do not talk about Rainbow Club. I went undercover operations in a webinar meant to instruct other teachers on how to implement gender ideology to elementary school students through, you guessed it, GSA. Now, when I was growing up, and I say growing up, but I mean like a few years ago, when I heard GSA clubs at local high schools, I thought that meant Gay Straight Alliance, which is, still kind of out there, but it's at least kind of normal. But gender and sexuality is what it is now. Clubs that are being held during school hours, apparently is the new name. Or maybe it's a different organization in and of itself, but it sure has conquered the phrase GSA. Check this out.
Something I do say to students and to caregivers, but I mostly say it to students, like in my class, and then I just like quickly go into the other fifth grade classes and say, just so you know, it's completely your option if you want to come or not. But I tell them that I don't ever tell anyone else who came except for the other two fifth grade teachers. So I would never tell their adults or like other students in the school or even other teachers. I don't tell, just to make sure that any of them who are potentially nervous would at least feel assuaged in that.
Fifth graders. So these are educators involved with GSA. Teachers at your local elementary schools. Fifth grade. Do I need to say more? Their website is genderinClassrooms.com. We're going there. Includes lesson plans, reading lists, curriculum guides, and child-friendly definitions for instructions on gender pseudoscience. So here's creating and sustaining GSAs in elementary schools. And they've all got their pronouns. Oh my gosh. Come to the Rainbow Club. Open to all LGBTQ students, families, and allies. Think of it like this. Imagine your fifth grade daughter named Susie who has no idea what LGBTQ plus is because she's a fifth grader who's barely 10 years old, sees something called the Rainbow Club. Well, I love rainbows. One of my favorite My Little Pony in that TV show is named Rainbow Dash. Well, I like rainbow, so I'm going to go to Rainbow Club. It says it's open to students and families and allies. I don't really know what an ally is, but that's a friend, right? I'm a friend. I'll go to Rainbow Club. And then you decide to do a little bit of research on Rainbow Club once little fifth grade Susie has gone to 3 or 4 of their meetings and has come back with a trans flag pinned to her dress and you're a little confused. So you visit the website and this is what you're greeted with. Let's check it out. Inclusive curriculum. Oh, new reading guides for what's that? K through first? Oh, nah. Oh, nah, ain't no way. Oh, you're gonna charge me $12 for this? I don't think so. It's small text, but I'll read it to you guys. This year's reading guide provides kindergarten and first grade teachers with a framework within which to teach a specifically curated selection of 5 picture books that address gender and sexuality. Each book's guide includes discussion questions, as well as writing assignments and artistic tasks that students can do after reading the book. Oh my gosh. Bring me closer. They, she, he, easy as ABC. There's one called Neither. There's one called Max, 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 Boys Dance, and My Rainbow. I'm very curious about this one Neither. I think it's by a person named Ann Anderson. We're doing some live. We're doing a deep cut here today. It's called Neither by Ann Anderson. I am so curious. What does Neither mean? Published in 2018. We're not reading this book, but I want to see if I can find just the book itself. Let me just see if I can go through images. I think that's just going to show me that. The picture book by Unstated. I think this is something else. Neither. So here's the book itself, but it's trying to ask me to buy it. It's by Ariel Anderson. So we'll copy that and then see if that gives me a little bit more luck. But I need to figure this out. I really do. I need to see what does this book talk about. And if we don't have time today, I'll come back another time and check it out. But okay, here we go. We'll get like a Google review. In this colorful and touching story that celebrates which makes each of us unique, a little creature that's not quite a bird and not quite a bunny, it's neither, searches for a place to fit in. In a land of this and that, there are only 2 kinds, blue bunnies and yellow birds. I think you guys understand the picture that these people are pushing here. Neither. See, because it's neither a bunny nor a bird. It's a cute little mixture. Look at that. It's neither a bunny nor a bird. It's all alone, but it's both, right? It's got wings like a bird. It's got ears like a bunny. It's got a beak like a birdie, kind of like a duck. It's got legs like a birdie, but it's got a little tail like a bunny. It's adorable. Heck, if I was reading this when I was in first grade, I'd think that thing's kind of cute, you know? It's kind of silly looking. It's funny, I'd laugh at it. But I wouldn't know that they're using this to push forward an agenda to say, well, hey, little Chandler, just because you're maybe more like a blue bunny than a yellow bird, doesn't mean you can't say to yourself, well, hey, maybe I'm a little bit of a bird, even though I am a blue bunny. I've got a little yellow bird in me, right? Or vice versa. I just assumed bunny is a little bit more The blue bunny's a little bit more boy-like, but still, you guys get the image I'm pushing here, right? You get what they're pushing, you get what I'm talking about? Because if we get it, that means we can understand it, we can fight it. But see, this is part of the K through first curriculum. These are children who don't know their multiplication tables yet, don't know how to add or subtract, and are still struggling to learn their ABCs, and you want to tell them that they can be neither boy nor a girl? And you insist that it won't be confusing because it's part of the lesson plan, it's part of the curriculum for the GSA. For Rainbow Club. Let's dig a little deeper before we wrap up here. No permission slips needed, just a one-way communication to home about our club. We intentionally left it broad and that it was a club about acceptance, tolerance, diversity, and identity. My gosh.
The only formal communication that we've sent home was to 4th and 5th grade students. We told them they didn't have to, it wasn't a permission slip, it was just something that was like one way communication to home about our club. And I didn't hear any pushback from anybody regarding that. But also we intentionally left it broad in that it was a club about acceptance, tolerance, diversity, and identity.
Look at them nod because they're thinking of new ways so that they can get into your classroom without anybody knowing the wiser. They're like, man, that's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that one? Or some of them are, I think some of them, judging by body language, although I don't know how accurate body language is on people like this, they might even be like nodding and like, oh yeah, I've done that. That's a good one. Good job for getting that one. Brother, sister, I don't know what this person is supposed to be.
It was a club about acceptance, tolerance, diversity, and identity. And then on campus, we do announce it to all the grades when we're having an event. In particular, like if it's Rainbow Club meeting, we'll have like in the morning announcements, or for the door decorating contest, we've talked about it whole school.
I remember watching the morning announcements when I was in elementary school. The craziest they would ever get was saying happy birthday to some student on some day. Maybe acknowledging a new name that you might have come up with, or something like that you've, legally changed your name to. That's the furthest they'd ever get with it. Not like you were coming out as a brand new gender or a rainbow club being announced to the whole school for any and everybody to come and join. It was never anything crazy like that. And I was in elementary school from 2010 to 2016. It was never anything insane like that. But unfortunately, the students who are going to be in grade school from 2020 to 2026 for those 6 or so years K through 5 are unfortunately going to have to go through this. And they might not even disagree with it because they're so young, they're just going to be like, well, yeah, this is just the way the world is. And Mom, you just need to accept me for who I am. I am queer because, well, I don't know what it means to like a boy or to like a girl. So the teacher says if I don't know which one, then I'm a part of a community. And I need to speak my truth. And you need to accept me for who I am. And that's how they get you confused. That's how they throw you off. And that's how they start a story like the Saga of Sage. Because when everybody else is conforming to what the teachers are telling them, well, your child's going to want to fit in. Your child's going to explore on the internet and attempt to learn more and more about what this brand new and interesting and curious identity of theirs truly could lead to. And that's how they could get hurt. And, they'll already be hurt by what's happened in schools, but it could get worse. So, as always, this segment of the show is not meant to bring you down. It's not meant to depress you or anything like that. It's to bring awareness to what these people want to do, what they're standing for, how they're doing it, and the best way to fight back against it. Like that mother did from Colorado, she said, forget it. My child is worth the $8,000 a year to put into a private school or to invest the time and money into homeschooling or something like that. And I know not everybody is in the place to do that, and I think it's a travesty, truly is. I think there should be a lot more options for people to escape from these communities and these failing public schools where they're accepting and promoting this type of thing. But to those that have the means, you need to act upon it and do it now, because these people will not give up until every single one of them is on their side. And when I say them, I mean your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, even that kid down the block who has some parents and, you don't have any kids of your own, but you know him down the block, they're coming for him too. You think he's a good kid, he kicks the ball up and down the road, or I don't know, do kids still do that? I don't even think I did that growing up, but I don't want to meander too much. You guys get the tale I'm telling here. Let me read a few comments. Joker Ace says, Bernard. Ozzy says, you were literally fighting Hydra. Hydro is real. They will just create spot fires everywhere and you have to chasing with their head cut off, trying to attack everything that they start rather than they going. Hydra is not fiction, it's real. Joker Ace says, be nice to the Bernard. Looking too close again, probably. DM Gerber says, I saw this clip elsewhere, and it's not as bad as the Disney Roundtable. Yeah. He says, or to be honest, libs of TikTok any day. And Ozzy Fozzy is posting some Bible verses, real cool stuff. Right this minute. DM Gerber says, right this minute, I am supporting Chandler. Thank you so much, DM. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Helicon says, to think teachers taught prayer and the Bible in school, something evil reduced us to this crap. Very true. I want to give a big thank you and shout out to everybody who's tuned in with us today. Really appreciate Freedom Music, DM Gerber, T. Dot, Roxanne, Shantae, as always. I hope we get to see a few more of our regulars when we come back this Monday. And I hope you guys all stick around and become some regulars of ours as well. We do this show every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8. And then we do the Chandler Brief, our day show at 4 on Mondays and Wednesdays. So just to clarify, Mondays and Wednesdays at 4, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 8. Mondays and Wednesdays at 4, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8. So very simple there. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for being tuned in with us today. We'll be back next Monday, bright and early. And by early, I mean at 4, for more news. Don't forget, don't miss out. I'll see you guys back here soon. And aside from all that, don't forget to spread the virus of intelligence. Thank you guys so much. Peace. Will the Father